Let's talk about the next Social Security increase that millions of people are waiting for. We've been talking about this for several years. Multiple lawmakers have proposed different plans to increase benefits by as much as several $100s every single month. But why are we waiting? Well, we're going to get to that because right now lawmakers are also discussing additional relief in many different ways to give to seniors so that they can help with the cost of living crisis that millions of Americans are currently experiencing. So today I'm going to break this down, what's going on, and what we are likely to see moving forward. Again, stick around, watch this entire video, and I'll explain everything that's going on. But first, all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So right now, millions of Americans are waiting for some type of increase, whether it comes through Congress, through the cost of living adjustment. They just want something to help them get through the next several months. Well, here's what we're hearing. According to multiple reports, lawmakers are discussing additional relief. Now, this is going to come in multiple forms. Some of it's going to be an additional increase to your benefits. Others are going to be decreases in costs. So what we are hearing right now is the benefits are coming, but they have to negotiate and get this through the president's big, beautiful bill. So we'll see how long that takes. Let's get to some of the stories out. It says right here, Social Security's 2026 cost of living adjustment may surprise retirees for this reason. Now, we're going to get to this because in just a matter of days, we're going to have a new report. We're going to see what the new inflation number is. Okay? And when this new report comes out, the good news is we're going to have a little more clarity. But here's the troubling part. The Trump administration is still imposing tariffs, which means we are seeing additional inflation. We have upward pressure on inflation. If we see additional inflation, especially in the third quarter of 2025, that means you'll see a higher cost of living adjustment in 2026. The bad news is, what if we don't see it? Well, we'll get to that in a second because what happened today was actually pretty big. President Trump made his first tariff deal. Look at this. It says Trump says 10% is the floor for tariffs. Some will be much higher. So essentially, we are going to see upward pressure on inflation, meaning we are going to see the cost of living adjustment likely tick up. Well, here's where it's at right now. Let me just show you this. It says when the Social Security Administration announced this past October that retirees would be getting 2.5% cost of living adjustment, many seniors were very disappointed. That was understandable because a 2.5% raise isn't particularly generous, especially in light of recent Social Security COLAs that have been far more robust. Well, here's what they're anticipating for 2026. It says, based on whatever data is available so far, the Senior Citizens League, a nonpartisan advocacy group, had made a prediction about next year's COLA. And as of early April, it was calling for a 2.3% boost to Social Security benefits. Clearly, that's not great news for anybody hoping for a larger raise. Now, this is where things are getting interesting because Congress knows that if we do not see an increase to inflation, which would be bad, we don't want to see additional inflation. That means prices go up. We don't want to see that. So Congress knows if we see additional inflation, well, it's good news for seniors next year, but it's terrible news today. So additional inflation for next year, a higher increase, means you need more relief today. And they know that, which is why we are hearing many state representatives, many state governors are actually fighting for some form of relief. A lot of which is providing relief to seniors, providing relief to children, providing relief to homeowners, especially in the form of property taxes, child credits are another big one, and then additional benefits like seniors in some cities and some counties, you can actually receive a discount on utilities. That's internet, water, electricity, gas, right? You can get some type of discount here. So if you didn't know that, go look into it. But I want to show you this. Here's the problem. Many seniors are struggling so much, they're unretiring. It says unretiring. Why recent retirees want to go back to work. They want to go back to work because their Social Security check and their 2.5% cost of living adjustment for 2025 is just not enough. Not only that, when we are seeing Medicare go up in price, that's also problematic. So many lawmakers are currently discussing potential increases to Social Security benefits. But how do we get there? Well, here's what we know. There is actually multiple bills going around right now that would increase the cost of living adjustment for next year. Wouldn't do anything today, but for next year. And it has nothing to do with just the inflation rate. It has more so to do with how they calculate the cost of living adjustment. Currently, the cost of living adjustment isn't going under CPI-E, which is specifically for elderly, what the elderly pay for and spend their money on. If we were to transition to CPI-E, that would completely change things, and some say that could actually equal an extra $100 or $200 a month moving forward. So that would be a substantial increase. But I want to show you something. Look at this right here. It says, this is Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. He says the Fed can wait to adjust rates and see tariff risks. Now, what the Federal Reserve is going to do right now, they are going to wait. They're not cutting interest rates, which could hurt you if you use credit cards. But if the Federal Reserve decides not to cut rates, there's a chance we see inflation go up. Okay? If they cut rates, we will see inflation go up. But they want to see how high is inflation going to go up because of tariffs. And then they'll come in and they will likely cut rates or maybe even raise rates. We don't know. But the reason I'm showing you this is because the Federal Reserve is going to play a major role as to whether or not you see a higher cost of living adjustment in 2025 or 2026 or a lower cost of living adjustment than the 2.3%. So you need to pay attention to what the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, and the Federal Reserve just have to say. I want to show you something else, though. It says President Trump sees U.S. tariffs on China lowered if talks go well. But keep in mind, the base for tariffs is now set at 10%. President Trump has done something, and he's known for this negotiation style, is he comes in and says, okay, we're going to charge China 145% tariff. And that's where it's at. But yet we set the floor at 20%. So it's going to be somewhere in the middle. Many people think it's going to be anywhere between 30 and 50% at the end of the day. Now, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But what I can tell you is if we see Chinese goods tariffed at 50%, that means inflation. If we see it at 145%, that means inflation. But that could also mean the U.S. economy dips into a recession. And if we dip into a recession and people stop spending, inflation will come down eventually, which could mean you actually see a lower cost of living adjustment for 2026. I know I've thrown a lot of stuff at you just in this video, but what you need to keep in mind is that all these different reports, these reports matter. When it comes to your increase to Social Security benefits in 2026, these matter. And not only that, but if we see additional inflation, Congress and local authorities are going to do what they can to provide additional benefits to those in need. Again, homeless, veterans, seniors, children, disabled, those that cannot work. Those are going to get the most benefits. Everybody else that's an able-bodied American is going to have to work to receive benefits. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.